Hello, welcome to Chapter 12 Lean Supply Chain. We're going to be talking about lean production in this chapter. The lean production has been very successful in almost every company that does production. And lean is also moving towards services industries as well. We will be primarily talking about lean in manufacturing. But many of the concepts that we talk about is going to be transferred or can be transferred to the service industry as well. We are going to talk about lean concepts and supply chain processes. And we are going to use certain processes like value stream mapping to discuss the supply chain process. We are also going to be talking about lean design principles and how these concepts have been transferred to service processes as well. Lean production basically means minimizing inventory to achieve high volume production. So you have various activities in industries, and all these activities needs to be integrated and designed to accomplish high volume production using minimal inventories, which is minimal raw materials, minimal work in process, and the actual number of finished goods that are necessary to sell. So when you talk about lean production, customer value is of great importance. How much the customer is willing to pay for your product or services is customer value. The other concept that we're going to look at is waste. Waste is anything that does not add value from the customer's perspective. Not from the industry perspective, but from the customer's perspective. Timing, the scheduling of activities, is of importance as well. We're going to be looking at what is value chain again. Remember, we looked at value chain in the first couple of chapters. So we're going to look at value chain. Value chain is steps in the supply chain that create value. If an activity does not create value, it should be removed. Lean production involves elimination of waste in the production effort. Not only in the production effort, but also in every walk of life or in every activity that the company does. And this lean production involves making sure that you have the right resources for your production, just what is called just in time. And we'll be talking about many of these things in this chapter. Uncertainty is a service operation waste. Uncertainty in task times, that is because of variability. Variability leads to negative exponential distribution of task times. Each service delivery has some uniqueness. These are the causes of uncertainty in task times. Uncertainty in demand is that we looked at forecast in chapter 3. No demand forecast is 100% perfect. The capacity also, which we discussed in chapter 4, must be available when the demand arises. So there is an uncertainty in demand. There is also what are called uncertainties related to customer involvement, especially in service operations. Lean is based on a principle that, or a logic, that nothing will be produced unless it is needed. So for instance, a sale pulls a replacement from the last position in the system. So you go to Walmart, you're going to look at whatever you're going to buy. You're going to take that from the shelf. That is a sale. So once you take one from there, a replacement should be made. When this replacement is done, that action triggers an order to the factory production line. So the information is sent to the manufacturer that somebody has bought something in the Walmart in some place. And that triggers the order in the factory production line, and the factory basically pulls all these supplies, and that is the upstream action that is done inside the company. So this is basically the lean logic that we will work with. So this is called a pull system. A pull system basically is when a vendor says, I want something, it is fabricated. When it is fabricated, it is sent to the assembly, and that is sent with the sub-assembly, which is sent to the final assembly and finally given to the customers. So each stage of this system is tightly linked. Material is pulled through the system only when the vendor demands, when there is a demand. And that is called a pull system. Toyota is famous for its production system. Lots of people have written books on Toyota production system. Lots of people have given accolades for their achievements in their production processes. Their main idea of lean is elimination of waste and respect for people. Elimination of waste from overproduction, from waiting time, from transportation, from inventory, from processing, from waste of motion, waste of product defects, etc. Waste of motion is very interesting. If the employee has to take 15 steps to do a particular activity, if I can reduce that to 10 steps, that 5 steps is going to be eliminated, so the waste is eliminated, as long as whatever the employee is doing is the right way to do. So that is the waste of motion. So Toyota looks at all these different motions of employees. They study that and then see how they can decrease this waste. And similarly, they do for transportation, inventory, processing, waiting time, production, and defects and things like that. Okay. Respect for people is another thing the Toyota production system looks for. One is a lifetime employment for permanent positions. Nobody is laid off in Toyota. They maintain level payrolls even when business conditions deteriorate. The company unions work with the employers. Bonuses are given for all employees. They view workers as assets. So this is one of the fundamental things that Toyota actually started. And when Mr. Toyota started this whole respect for people, many companies in the US have also started looking at it and saying, hey, this is really good. We should also do this. So respect for people and elimination of waste is the fundamental of Toyota production system. Lean supply chains, we're going to be talking about two things. One is value stream, another one is waste reduction. Value stream is looking at activities which are value-adding activities, non-value-adding activities that are required to design, order, and provide a product from concept to launch, order to delivery, and raw materials to customers. The optimization of value-adding activities and elimination of non-value activities is part of the waste reduction. The components of lean supply chain is number one, the lean suppliers. Number two, the lean procurement activities. Number three, the lean manufacturing activities. Suppliers should be able to respond to changes. They should be flexible. And suppliers' prices should be lower due to their efficiency, and higher quality is what is expected from suppliers. These are the lean suppliers. Lean procurement is automation is key. E-procurement, electronic procurement, procurement through computers rather than sending purchase orders through mail or something like that. You don't want. Automation is when you need something, the computer orders to the suppliers automatically using those trigger points, the reorder points that we talked about in the last chapter. Using those trigger points and using the policy, whether it is a P model or a Q model, those kind of policies are used here to basically say, this is when I'm going to order, this is how much I'm going to order, those kind of things. Lean manufacturing is produce what the customers want in the quantity they want, when they want, and with minimum resources. That is lean manufacturing. Again, you add three more components to the lean supply chain. One is lean warehousing, lean logistics, and lean customers. That completes the entire portfolio of lean. Lean warehousing is to eliminate non-value added steps and waste in storage processes. Logistics is an optimized routing, cross-docking, which is basically using the dock for multiple items, import-export transportation processes which are efficient, optimized mode of selection and pooling orders. That means if I'm going to order nuts and bolts and screws, how I can put them together in a single order so that I can optimize the transportation cost and the logistics cost. That's what we are looking at here. Lean customers understand their business needs. They value speed, they value flexibility. They specify meaningful requirements. They make sure that the requirements are meaningful to them and to the suppliers. So they consider suppliers as part of their team. And they actually sometimes, companies in Japan will go to their suppliers and tell and teach them this is what they want, or this is how they should do it. A big company like Toyota, big company like Mitsubishi, they can go and tell others, hey, this is how to do it. So that they get the value, they get the benefit from their suppliers as well. This is called effective partnership with suppliers. And they expect value. These are the supply chain, lean supply chain components. We're going to move to value stream processing next.